Cześć, z tej strony Lama Game, to testament Sherlocka Holmesa, to już drugi odcinek. Ostatnio zakończyliśmy w tym miejscu i Watson bardzo nalega, żebyśmy przeczytali gazetę, która go bardzo zirytowała. Globe Explorer. Sherlock Holmes w domu markizy Cunningham. Fiasko śledztwa. Ceniony detektyw Sherlock Holmes został wczoraj zaproszony do rezydencji markizy Cunningham, aby wyjawił swe wnioski związane ze śledztwem prowadzonym po zaginięciu bezcennego samoańskiego naszyjnika. Należy przypomnieć, iż dama wezwała detektywa, gdy policja wydawała się speszona niezwykłymi okolicznościami towarzyszącymi kradzieży. Wszystko.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines, the door's open.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
Ja się zastanawiam, czy ja wszystko tam przeczytałam, ale widzę, że nie dają mi opcji wrócenia na razie tam. Więc no, odbębnijmy dialogi.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
What a lovely marriage. Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewellery?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector?
Be my guest.
Very well.
Teraz już mogę. Dobra. Przedtem nie chciało się włączyć. Ale numer. Dobra, nieważne. Nie przeczytałam do końca wszystkiego. Nic dziwnego, bowiem cenna biżuteria zniknęła, gdy drzwi do pomieszczenia, w którym ją przechowywano, były zamknięte. Alarm wszczęła służba powiadomiona dzwonkiem przywołującym pokojówki, który odezwał się w nocy. Kiedy markiz, jedyna osoba dysponująca kluczem, otworzył drzwi, wszyscy rzucili się do środka, aby ugasić szalejący tam pożar. Dopiero później zauważono, że naszyjnik w tajemniczy sposób zniknął. Najbardziej zaskakujący jest fakt, iż w pomieszczeniu nie natrafiono na złodzieja, a wszystkie wyjścia były zamknięte. Pan Holmes jak zwykle rozwiązał sprawę w mgnieniu oka i klejnot odzyskano. Nie zamierzam tracić czasu na rozmaite hipotezy starające się wyjaśnić, w jaki sposób naszyjnik zaginął. Wolę bowiem skierować uwagę szanownych czytelników na najświeższy i zaskakujący zwrot akcji w tej sprawie. Po odejściu Sherlocka Holmesa, który osobiście złożył naszyjnik w sejfie, markiz zauważył, iż klejnot jest jedynie mierną kopią oryginału. Nie zapominajmy, że samoański naszyjnik, choć prosty i pozbawiony zdobień, jest wyjątkowy dzięki umieszczonym w nim rzadkim perłom. Konkretnie zaś perłom, które spotkać można jedynie w małej części laguny z archipelagu Samoa. Ich wyjątkową jakość naukowcy przypisują silnie zagęszczonym kryształom aragonitu, z którego są zbudowany bezcenny naszyjnik. Przywieziony tutaj na początku wieku przez lorda Fentona Arwicka, dziadka markizy oraz wybitnego badacza, powinien stanowić część posagu jej córki na ślub z księciem Newcastle. Zamierzam więc zadać proste pytanie. Czyż nie powinniśmy, zachowując całą bezstronność, zastanowić się, czy przypadkiem naszyjnik nie został celowo zamieniony na falsyfikat przez samego pana Holmesa? Jestem świadom, drodzy czytelnicy, iż brutalność tego pytania, pozbawionego jakichkolwiek uprzedzeń, może z pewnością zszokować wielu z was. Jednak fakty pozostają faktami, nasze zaś myśli i osądy nie powinny być mylone z szacunkiem, jaki wszyscy żywimy wobec znanego detektywa. Nie pierwszy raz Globe Explorer zgłasza swoje obiekcje co do metod Sherlocka Holmesa. Wystarczy tu przypomnieć nasze własne śledztwo dotyczące ucieczki Arsena Lupina, Francuza, który ze złośliwą przyjemnością zszargał wizerunek naszej rodziny królewskiej i który szczęśliwym zbiegiem okoliczności zdołał wymknąć się panu Holmesowi. W rzeczywistości cechuje się on szyderstwem, pogardą, wyniosłością oraz nieprzyjaznym stosunkiem do policji, zwłaszcza inspektora Bainesa, zastępującego inspektora Lestrade'a, który przebywa obecnie na urlopie zdrowotnym. Wiadomo też, że nałogowo nadużywa narkotyków takich jak heroina i kokaina. Właśnie dlatego, drodzy czytelnicy, warto jest odsunąć na bok dobrą reputację Sherlocka Holmesa, aby uformować obiektywną opinię i zadać naglące pytania. Czy odnaleziony przez Holmesa naszyjnik był już falsyfikatem? Jeśli tak było, to dlaczego o tym nie wspomniał i nalegał, że sam odłoży go z powrotem do sejfu? Czy detektyw miał jakiś własny podejrzany interes w tej sprawie, a może jest to przypadek zwykłego oszustwa, mający na celu kradzież wyjątkowego samoańskiego naszyjnika? To wy, drodzy czytelnicy, powinniście wyrobić sobie własną opinię, możecie jednak liczyć na to, iż wasz pokorny sługa nie będzie ustawał w ujawnianiu opinii publicznej wątpliwych metod oraz motywacji tego, którego w przyszłości nie będę wahał się nazywać Sherlockiem Holmesem oszustem. Ciąg dalszy nastąpi. O. Farley. No to zobaczmy ten naszyjnik.
This pearl is a different color. These 3 pearls are of poor quality. This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes. The work table, where Holmes analyzes things. I have found your map.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
What has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God. How horrible. I haven't called anyone. How did you know that?
Holmes, look!
The Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
How dreadful.
Mutilated. And killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave, and not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question! I don't even know you! I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one. Therefore, we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed, it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue.
To co my tu mamy? O,
A broken phial and blood near the neck.
What a strange smell. Chemical components, I think. A broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety.
to rzeczywiście ciekawe.
There is blood on this paperweight. A bottle of whiskey. I can make out fingerprints stained with blood and dirt.
It would seem that the brutes who tortured the bishop to death were intoxicated with alcohol.
Ale ogień się pali.
This stove is filled to overflowing. This metal rod is for fastening the chilies.
A whip?
No, it is a discipline for self-flagellation. It's a cilice designed to bruise the person wearing it. The bishop wore it as repentance. This very pious man must have had the habit of mortifying his flesh as a means of repentance.
Chyba wszystko. Okay.
Impossible to open it. Impossible to open it.
Dobra, czyli czegoś tutaj jeszcze nie ma.
Reverend, I'm missing something, an implement with which to open this chest. Could you tell me where to find it?
No, go to the devil!
What are you afraid of, Reverend? What is inside the chest?
I'm not afraid of anything. In fact, I do have the necessary implements, but if I have to give them to anyone, it will be to a representative of the law and no one else.
Ten ostatni ślad?
The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of the infantry brigade of Her Majesty's Guards at Waterloo.
The Bishop of Knightsbridge has the same name as his ancestor, an illustrious family.
No to ładnie.
This door has not been forced. Where does it lead, Reverend?
To His Excellency's room. There is just a mattress and a stool.
The bishop's bedroom. It is very austere. Nothing in particular here.
Tam chyba jeszcze jeden ślad.
Watch where you're putting your feet, Watson. Have you noticed these prints upon the ground?
Well, yes, those muddy marks.
See here, Watson. Footprints can often provide more vital information than the very best of informants.
Yes, if you know how to make them talk, that is.
It's child's play, Watson. We will begin by excluding the contaminating prints, which are yours and mine from where we came in, and those of our dear Reverend who was so impatient to call the police. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a labourer's shoe. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers. A fragment of stone. Peculiar. Well-worn shoes with an odd pattern on the soles. Nothing of interest here. Size 9. Size 9. Size 9.5. Size 9. Size 9.5. Size 9.
Przestępców tam było.
Perfect. We now know that there were 3 crooks.
To ciekawa odpowiedź.
Strange but true. One of the crooks was wearing a different pair of shoes when he left here. Therefore, we have 3 men who came in and left again, but one of them was wearing a different pair of shoes from the ones which he came in with.
So, all we have to do is look for a workman who likes Italian shoes.
No, moje słuchawki odmawiają posłuszeństwa, szalej się, rozładowują się, więc tu zrobię jakby małą przerwę i jak tylko się naładują, to do was wracam. Okidoki, już jestem. Nie potrzebuję poruszać się szybciej. Jeszcze ciało. Co my tu mamy? Ojej, zęba mu wybili.
You can see by his expression that he's suffered terribly.
His mouth is covered in blood, and I can make out strips of skin between his teeth.
His chest has been lacerated, I would say, with a very sharp and fine blade. His chest has been lacerated, I would say, with a very
The fingers have been crushed and violently struck. The fingers have been crushed and violently struck.
His stomach is covered in scratches. Quite evidently, they weren't made recently.
So, these wounds were not made by his murderers. His forearms have been ripped, pieces of skin have been torn off. What do you think, Watson?
I'd say that he was eaten alive. Yet I've noticed a curious degeneration of the skin tissue around the wounds.
My dear friend, everything points to this man having gnawed at his own forearms.
That's unbelievable, Holmes.
A piece of rope that was used to tie up that poor man. These burns are terrible. A finger. Apparently it doesn't belong to the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
How dreadful.
I to bardzo odrażające.
His feet have been burned.
My first impression is that he wears a size 9 shoe.
You? But what does it matter, Holmes? This poor man was tied just below the knees.
To stop him from walking, certainly, but mostly to free his feet.
My God, Holmes, this man was horribly tortured.
Chyba wszystko.
Something is missing here.
Oh, yes? And what might that be?
His shoes. Watson, his shoes are missing.
Jak wygląda nasza tabela dedukcyjna? Dedukcja. Brakuje butów biskupa. Jeden z morderców wyszedł w innych butach. Dobra. Jeszcze tu coś jest.
A surgical scalpel covered in blood. There isn't any doubt. The wounds on the bishop were administered with this scalpel.
I cannot leave now.
What do you think, Holmes?
You have no right to search here.
Closed. The veranda door hasn't been forced. Strange. Reverend, might I have the key?
No! You have no authority here. Let me call the police.
Perhaps we should listen to him, Holmes.
Perhaps you should let me get on with this, Watson.
Co nam to daje?
Perfect. It is evident that the Bishop of Knightsbridge's killers were after something specific, and that they did not find it. Reverend, I shall ask you one more time. Open the chest. The item they were seeking must still be inside. It is unlikely that they will let this matter rest. They will most certainly return to finish what they started.
And I'm telling you once more, the chest is locked and shall remain so.
Very well. We have reached an impasse. You are a stubborn man, Reverend. Watson, accompany our friend to the police station and return with Inspector Baines. Baines and no one else. I shall wait for you here. Go. Alone at last. Now I can continue my investigation.
A werandę możemy teraz otworzyć.
This lock should be easy to pick. Let's see. I need something.
A ten?
This lock should be easy to pick. Let's see.
Dobra. Co my tu mamy? Tu. Góra.
There we are. It is simplicity itself. There isn't anything much in this room. It must be used as a reading or meditation room. An ink stain. Apparently, someone wanted to hide this statue.
Jaki posmak.
This horse resembles a large chess piece. There is a message underneath this statue. Let's see.
Cóż za brak wyobraźni. Wykorzystaj swoje zamiłowanie do szachów. Prawidłowe będzie to pole, na którym skoczek znajdzie się po pokonaniu wszystkich pozostałych. Kocham cię. Ciekawa ta wiadomość.
This message was written by a woman, but for whom was it intended? Interesting, this chess game. This inkwell was tipped over recently. An ink stain, quite fresh. This stain is just on the edge of the rug. Let's see. There is nothing on the floor, yet the ink must have soaked through the rug. The ink stain on the floor comes from the ink on the rug, but they are not in the same place. Someone has moved the rug recently. That is curious. There is something strange on the floor. Certain stones have been marked out, just like a chessboard.
Dobra. Nie wiem, ile razem będzie tych minut wraz z przerwą, więc żeby nie robić jakichś kluczowych cięć, zakończę tu dzisiaj. Widzimy się w następnym odcinku. Cześć!